We had a viewer request how to cook fresh snap beans in a pressure pot. We're fixing to do a video on that coming up next. To prepare your fresh snap beans, I just have 3 here left to snap. You have to take them and you break off the blossom end and you break off the stem end. And this one actually is the right size for the way I like them, so I'm going to put them in my bowl. But with each one you do that. Now this one I want it a little bit smaller. You're going to break it in half. That's why they're called snap beans, because you snap them. You just break off the ends, and I just take my thumb and do them like that. And then you're going to fill your bowl up with water, and you're going to wash them real good. Thankfully my snap beans have been mostly off the ground, so they haven't gotten real dirty. But I always like to put them in a bowl like this where they can actually soak in the water to get all dirt out. And I always wash them twice. If my second wash water's dirty, I wash them a 3rd time. I want my water to be pretty clean when I get done. That's still pretty dirty. And I like to move them around, kind of like, you know, rubbing them against each other to help get anything out or broken loose that's in there that may be dirty. When I'm canning snap beans and I have a bunch of snap beans, I just make sure my sink is very clean, and I do this in the sink. Or I do have some big wash pans also. See? It's fairly clean. Our favorite way to have snap beans prepared is with a little bacon. You don't have to do it this way. You could actually do a little butter, or I guess you really don't have to have any oil type substance. But of course, like I said, our favorite way is with bacon, because everything is better with bacon, of course. But anyway, the way I'm going to be showing you how to do the green beans or snap beans is the way my mom always did them. And so I guess there might be other instructions out there online, but I'm going to show you the way my mom did it. But one thing I'm very excited about is that I'm getting a new pressure cooker. It's not a canner, it's a pressure cooker. It's an electric one. I'm so excited about getting it because it's going to be much bigger than this, and I should be able to put a whole chicken in it. And if you're interested, we'll have a link down in the description. With the cooking of the hog jowl or the bacon, you know, it doesn't have to be fried all the way crisp. I like to cook it to where you know, it's got some oil in the bottom of the pan, but that's not a necessity. Like I said, you could be doing this without any type of oil in the pan. I stir this around. I guess I should have explained. These are Louisiana purple pod green beans. I'm not colorblind. I knew they were purple. They're going to turn green as they cook though. I haven't added any water or anything yet. What I'm doing is I'm stirring my beans around in the bacon grease, and that helps them to release some of their natural water. And so I won't add as much water to them. I won't have to add as much water to them because they'll have some of their own water. And you can see them starting to turn green. As they get hot, they turn green. As you can see, my beans have turned just about green. I haven't been doing this for 5 minutes even. And now I'm going to come and I'm going to go ahead and salt them. You could have salted them right away.
Just salting to taste?
I salt to taste, yeah, and that's not a necessity. You don't have to salt, but you know, just to your taste. I always have to play with it a few times at the beginning of the year of getting fresh snap beans because I'm not used to doing it. Usually I have them not quite salty enough at first. And look, I know y'all may freak out, but this is a little sugar. I put sugar in my snap beans. That's the way Mama always did it, and that's the way I've raised my kids. So we like a little sweetness in our snap beans. Now you can see there's a little water. Can you get that in there?
Yeah.
There's a little water coming out now where they've kind of cooked. and they're all green. And next I'm going to be adding my water.
That's not evil white sugar, is it?
No, it's not. It is actually organic sugar. And I can't remember the name of it.
Florida crystals?
Yes, it is. It is. It's Florida crystals, and we can put a link to that down below also if you're interested. And of course, since I'm doing it the way Mama always did it, there's really not any measuring. So I put, this is a 2-cup measuring cup that I'm gonna pour it in till I'm comfortable with the water, and then I'll be able to tell you how much I put in there. My friend has told me that you always put at least a cup in with your pressure pot, because it's got to have steam to make the pressure and to cook the food. And that's about how we like it. We don't like a ton of water, but just right below the bean surface is where I like the water. And let's see, and that was just a little more than a cup. I don't know if you can see it on there, but it was 2 cups, and now it's down just to below 1 cup. And I didn't measure how many beans that was. I'm sorry. And I really don't know what quart pressure pot this is. I think it's a 4-quart though, just by looking at it. Anyway, I'm gonna turn my fire all the way on high. I'm gonna put my lid on it, and I'm gonna find, we call this the Jiggler. I don't know what the real name is, but I'll have it on high heat until this is the little thing that'll poke up once it gets pressure, and then the Jiggler will start jiggling. And I just know by sound I don't want it going too fast, and I want it going fast enough. And I'll show you what that speed is in just a minute. I don't know if you can see it, but now it just poked up. Steam was escaping, and then I guess the pressure was reached and the little thing stuck up. So continue to build pressure until the Jiggler starts jiggling. Okay, it's starting to jiggle a little bit. Steam's starting to escape. The reason it does this is to where it won't build up too much pressure. And you should always use lots of caution when you're using these. These can be very dangerous. I know people that will not use a pressure pot because they're scared of it. But if you're careful and follow safety, not follow safety, but if you're just careful and don't do things, you can't open the pressure pot right now. Now it's going pretty fast, a lot of steam's escaping. I'm going to turn that down. That was on high, and I'm going to turn that down to 8. It's still in the higher range, and to where I can get it jiggling like I want it. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. These are fresh snap beans, and they'll cook for 10 minutes. If these were canned snap beans, whether they were canned by me or you bought them in the store in a can, you would do everything exactly the same, except your beans that you bought or that you canned yourself would already have the water and the salt added.
Did you cook them the same amount of time?
Oh no, the canned snap beans, that's what I want to tell you, they would be cooked 5 minutes. These beans are cooked 10 minutes. You see how it's jiggling. That's still a little fast, but my temperature is coming down on my stove now. So usually you get to know your stove, and usually it's around 8 where I leave it. Maybe it's between 7 and 8 to make it jiggle like Mama made it. Hers jiggle. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm sure there's more technical instructions on the internet, but I'm just doing it how Mama did it. And this is actually my mother-in-law's pressure pot. She gave it to me years ago when she quit using it. And if I were to cook these snap beans just in a pot without being under pressure, it would take every bit of an hour, I think, to be able to cook them. And I would have to add a lot more water and cook them down. And really, I don't know how long it would take, because I do my peas this way, my butter beans this way, green beans this way. I actually do stew meat and rice and gravy this way in the pressure pot. And not the rice, but the stew meat and gravy. So I just love it. And I know I'm going to like the electric one even better, because like I've been standing over the stove watching, my pressure come up and everything. Of course, I've been doing stuff in the kitchen also, but the electric one, you set it and you can walk away.
I've been doing stuff in the kitchen too. I've been eating. I ate one of those biscuits right there. It's one of Patti's pan biscuits. That's the remnants of the biscuits you see right there in that pan. We'll have to do a recipe video on that. Well, I know we've got a pretty popular biscuit recipe video that we put out a long time ago, but this is a whole different process and a different recipe.
It definitely is. This is a gluten-free recipe, and it's a little bit more challenging to do gluten-free biscuits, but I think I have finally found a recipe that stays together and it tastes like a biscuit.
Amen, sister. Time for that.
This is about the jiggle I want, like it's doing right now. And I've already set my timer. I have 8 minutes left on the timer, and we'll be back to show you the finished product.
So it's interesting, you didn't wait until you got the jiggle you wanted to set the timer.
No, because actually it was cooking faster than I wanted. As soon as it starts jiggling, I start timing it because it's actually a higher pressure. And so this is a lower pressure because it's not jiggling as fast.
So it evens out over the course of the 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, that's our timer. Like I said, we cooked our snap beans for 10 minutes. Now, I want to go over some safety with y'all. I want you to please make sure, you cannot remove this lid right now. It would splash hot liquid and peas everywhere, and it could possibly kill you with the force of the lid. So pressure pots can be very dangerous. You have to be very careful with them. That being said, they're all different too. So I want you to look at your user manual and follow their precautions and follow their instructions on how to use the pressure pot you have. I don't have that luxury. Like I said, this was handed down to me from my mother-in-law. I learned from being in the kitchen with my mom how to use a pressure pot. Don't just take this video and use your pressure pot. Like I said, look at your user manual. All right, now, next I'm going to release the steam from my pot. I turn my vent on high. Let me do this. Okay, now, sorry about that, multitasking. All right, I do release my steam all at one time. And of course it's off the burner, so it's not continually building steam. The way you know that all the steam is gone is not just that the steam quits coming out of here, it's that this will go completely down and there's no more steam in there. But if this does not go down, even if steam is not coming out here, because it is possible for a bean or something to actually clog this. But if this steam's quit coming out of here and this is gone flat, which I'll show you in just a minute, then that means that the steam is all out of the canner, the pressure pot. Sorry, I keep saying canner. I do use a pressure canner also, so this is not a pressure canner, this is a pressure pot. It's dropped down. I still have some steam coming out. It's not quite all the way. It's down most of the way, so I'm gonna let that steam kind of slow down. Of course, it's gonna have some steam. It's very hot food, but not forcible steam. I feel perfectly comfortable now opening my pot and turn this fan off now. And I have perfectly cooked green beans.
They smell fantastic.
Our grandson is here today, and this is his favorite vegetable, is green beans. So there we are. I wanted to show you also my peas. I cooked them beforehand in the pressure pot. I cooked them earlier this morning. This is them, and they cooked 10 minutes also. They were fresh peas, so they also cooked 10 minutes. So, well, thank you to our viewer that asked to see a video on us cooking our snap beans in a pressure pot. And it was perfect because this is the only way I cook snap beans. So it was not, we've just done this off the cuff. You might better tell that from my stammering around. But anyway, this is just the way I cook snap beans. I'd love to hear some of your comments and some different things maybe you do with your pressure pot. Have a great day. Our fresh snap beans in a pressure pot. Cut. We had a